Part 3. The Great Escape. And then one fateful day, my chance arrived. The restaurant was crowded with customers, and the staff were busy rushing back and forth. It was the perfect opportunity to make our move. The small lobster and I had been waiting for this moment, and we were ready. We had coordinated with the other lobsters in the tank, and they were ready to make a distraction if needed. I was watching the chef from a distance as he traveled around the kitchen. He looked at our tank and slowly started walking towards us. I continued to watch as the chef reached into our tank, his hand hovering over my head, and I knew that this was my moment. With a quick flick of my tail, I darted out of the way, avoiding his grasp. The other lobsters in the tank began to move frantically, creating a commotion that drew the attention of the staff. What happened next was sudden. All the lobsters hopped out of the tank as one and crashed to the floor. As chaos ensued, I scuttled across the floor, making a beeline for the door. The small lobster was close behind me, his eyes locked onto mine. We had practiced this escape 100 times, and we were both confident that we could make it out. The kitchen was a maze of activity, with pots and pans clanging, chefs shouting orders, and waitstaff rushing in and out. It was a dizzying array of movement, but we kept our focus, moving as quickly and as quietly as we could. Just as we were nearing the door, a pair of hands reached down and grabbed the small lobster. I watched in horror as he was lifted into the air, his legs thrashing wildly.
"Gotcha, you little bugger!"
a voice growled. It was the human who tended to our tank, his face twisted into a snarl. He held the small lobster tightly, his fingers digging into his shell. I froze, uncertain of what to do. The small lobster looked down at me, his eyes filled with terror. I could see that he was struggling to break free, but the human was too strong. It was a moment of decision. Should I continue my escape, leaving my friend behind, or should I risk everything to save him? Without hesitation, I turned back, racing towards the small lobster and the human who held him. I could hear the other lobsters in the tank scuttling behind me, creating a diversion to draw the human's attention away. I launched myself at the human, my snappers extended. I dug them into his flesh, drawing blood. He howled in pain, and I used the distraction to grab the small lobster and scuttle away. We made it out of the kitchen and into the dining area, where we were met with a chorus of gasps and screams. The customers had noticed our escape, and they were backing away, their eyes wide with fear. We raced across the dining room, dodging tables and chairs, heading towards the door. We burst through it and onto the street, the cool evening air washing over us. We could hear the human shouting and cursing behind us, but we didn't stop. We kept running, faster and faster, until we were a blur of motion. We ran as fast as we could, the wind rushing past us as we made our way towards the ocean. It wasn't until we reached the beach that we finally slowed down, collapsing onto the sand, panting and exhausted. The small lobster and I looked at each other, our eyes filled with a sense of triumph. We had escaped the restaurant, and we had made it back to the ocean. It was a dream that had seemed impossible, but we had done it. We were free. As we reached the shoreline, I could see the vast expanse of the sea stretching out before us. The salty air filled my senses, and I felt a sense of joy and freedom that I hadn't experienced in so long. The other lobster and I made our way into the water as we swam deeper. We marveled at the beauty of our new home. We soon found a rocky outcropping to call our own, and we settled in. We spent our days exploring the underwater world, playing in the waves and basking in the currents near the coral. We were no longer confined to a small tank, and our spirits were lifted. As time went on, we met other creatures of the ocean, schools of fish, pods of dolphins, even a friendly octopus. We made new friends and forged new connections, each day bringing new adventures and surprises. Looking back, I couldn't believe how much my life had changed since the day I was caught and sold to that restaurant. I had gone from feeling hopeless and trapped to living a life of freedom and adventure. And as I looked out at the vast expanse of the ocean, I knew that I would never take my freedom for granted. We were home. The end. I hope you have enjoyed this original story by Vibrant 9. Please like, share, and subscribe for more. And remember, you are the first to hear it.